Okay, so today we're taking a deep dive into Deuteronomy chapter 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it kicks off really directly, doesn't it? There's this immediate call to listen. Listen carefully and obey.
Right. Obey the laws, the decrees, everything being taught. And the promise is tied right to it. You do this, you live. You get to enter and possess the land.
And straight away, that really strong command, don't add anything to this, don't take anything away, period.
Exactly. That framing right at the start, don't mess with these instructions. It tells you immediately these aren't just, helpful hints. They're presented as complete non-negotiable.
Sets the stakes high from line 1.
Definitely signals their absolute importance.
And it doesn't just leave that as like a concept. It immediately connects it to something real, something they just experienced.
Yeah, it pulls up that stark example from recent memory at Baal Peor.
Ah, right, that whole disaster.
It explicitly contrasts what happened. Those who got involved with the Baal of Peor, destroyed, gone.
Wiped out. It's brutal.
But then it pivots. Those who held fast to the Lord, the text says, are still alive today. It's like, look around you. Here's the immediate proof.
So obedience equals life. Disobedience equals destruction. It's right there, illustrated by their own recent past.
Couldn't be clearer. The lesson is immediate and tangible.
Okay, so consequences established. But then the chapter makes this other really interesting point. It says following these laws isn't just for their own good.
Right. It's outward-facing, too. It suggests that their careful obedience will actually be a sign, a demonstration of wisdom and understanding to other nations.
That's quite a claim, that outsiders will look at them and think, wow, this is a wise nation.
Yes, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. That's the quote. It's presented as an inevitable reaction from others.
And it doubles down with these, rhetorical questions emphasizing their uniqueness.
Exactly. Like, what other nation is so great as to have their gods near them the way the Lord our God is near us whenever we pray to him?
That hits hard. It's claiming a unique access to the divine, a closeness others don't have.
It's framing their relationship with God as fundamentally different, more immediate, more responsive than what other nations experience with their deities.
And then the follow-up about the laws themselves.
Yeah. What other nation is so great as to have such righteous decrees and laws as this body of laws I am setting before you today?
So it's not just having laws, it's the quality of these laws, their righteousness, their justice. That's supposed to be unparalleled.
Precisely. The legal framework itself is presented as evidence of their special status and insight, something that should make the rest of the world take notice.
Okay, so we've got life and death consequences, this idea of being a showcase nation. But then Deuteronomy 4 pulls the focus way back to the foundational moment.
To Horeb, Mount Sinai. That day is positioned as the absolute anchor for everything.
And the description is intense. Standing at the mountain's foot, it's blazing with fire, black clouds, deep darkness. It sounds terrifying.
It's meant to convey awe, overwhelming power.
Yeah.
But the critical detail, the thing the text keeps hammering home, is what they didn't see.
Right. The Lord spoke from the fire. They heard words.
The sound of words, yes. But, and this is crucial, they saw no form, only a voice.
No form. That seems to be the absolute linchpin for what comes next, doesn't it?
It really is. Because this experience at Horeb, where the 10 Commandments were given, where the covenant was established, the fact that they saw no physical shape of God is the direct reason given for the very strict warning against idolatry.
Ah, so because you didn't see a form then, don't you dare try and make one now.
Exactly. Be very careful, it says, not to become corrupt and make idols. And it lists them out very specifically.
Yeah, the list is comprehensive. Images like a man or woman, any animal, bird, creepy crawly thing on the ground, any fish. Basically anything in creation.
Covers all the bases. Don't make an image of anything.
And it even adds the sun, moon, and stars. Don't worship the celestial bodies. And it makes that interesting side comment about them being apportioned to other nations.
Right. It's like saying, those things others might worship, God assigned those elsewhere. They're not for you. And the ultimate punchline for why this is so forbidden, tying back to Horeb.
Let me guess. Consuming fire, jealous God.
You got it. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. That explains the intensity. This God demands exclusive loyalty and can't be represented by anything physical, reflecting that formless encounter at the mountain.
That phrase really captures the power and the the non-negotiable demand for faithfulness, it connects everything back.
It defines God's nature in relation to them, powerful, demanding exclusive allegiance, and fundamentally beyond any image they could possibly conceive or create.
And the chapter keeps reinforcing this uniqueness by pointing back to God's actions in their history.
Yeah, reminding them, you were brought out of Egypt, described as the iron smelting furnace, which is such a vivid image.
It really is. And not just brought out, but brought out to be his people, his inheritance. It wasn't accidental.
And then how God drove out nations bigger and stronger than them to give them this land. It's presented as this ongoing story of divine action on their behalf.
Building a case, essentially.
Exactly. And the conclusion drawn from all this history: acknowledge and take to heart this day that the Lord is God in heaven above, and on earth below there is no other. It's a call for deep internal conviction.
Okay, so commands, consequences, the Horeb memory, the strong anti-idolatry rule linked to it, the history. But then it looks ahead with a pretty serious warning.
Oh, yeah. A long-term warning. If, down the road, after they've lived in the land a long time, they forget, they become corrupt, they make idols.
Then what?
Heaven and earth are called as witnesses. They'll perish. Quickly. They'll be scattered among the other nations.
Scattered. And then the irony.
The terrible irony. They'll end up serving idols made of wood and stone, things made by human hands, things that, as the text points out, cannot see or hear or eat or smell.
What a contrast to the God who spoke, who acted, who saved them. Wow. And Moses even mentions his own situation here, right? That he won't cross the Jordan because of their past failures.
He does. It adds this personal weight, this solemnity. Like, the consequences are real, even for leadership, tied to the people's actions.
It really underscores the seriousness, but even in that bleak picture of scattering and distress, there's a flicker of hope.
There is a really powerful one. It says, even then, in that state of exile and trouble, if they turn back, if they seek the Lord their God with all their heart and all their soul,
they'll find him.
They will find him. That's the promise. There's always a path back, even from the worst consequences.
And the reason for that hope?
It's grounded in God's character and promises. The Lord is merciful. He won't abandon them completely, won't destroy them utterly. Why? Because he won't forget the covenant he swore to their ancestors.
That foundational promise holds firm, even when they fail. That's quite something. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Towards the end of the chapter, there's a very practical instruction.
Right, the cities of refuge. Moses sets aside 3 cities east of the Jordan.
But what was the point of those again?
They were essentially safe havens. If someone killed another person unintentionally, key point, without prior hatred or malice, they could flee to one of these cities.
To escape, like immediate vengeance.
Exactly. To save their life and allow for a proper, just process. It distinguishes accidental killing from premeditated murder. It's a specific legal safeguard being put into place.
And it gets really specific, naming the towns.
Yep. Bezur for the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead for Gad, and Golan in Bashan for Manasseh. It shows these aren't just abstract principles. They're being implemented on the ground right then and there.
And speaking of on the ground, the text makes sure to tell us exactly where all this is happening.
It does. It situates the giving of these laws very precisely in the valley near Beth Peor, east of the Jordan.
Which is land they just took, right? From King Sihon and Og.
The very land. So they're standing in conquered territory, hearing the rules for how to live there and how to proceed into the land across the river.
And it even maps it out, gives the boundaries.
Yeah, from Auror by the Arnon Gorge, way up north, to Mount Hermon called Sion, and including the eastern side of the Jordan Valley down to the Dead Sea, below Pisgah. It really roots the whole discourse in a specific time and place.
It's amazing how this chapter blends everything. Deep theology about God's nature, their unique calling, the lessons from history like Baal Peor, and that defining moment at Horeb, with future warnings, promises of return, and then zooms right into practical law like refuge cities and geographical coordinates.
It really is a comprehensive package, linking their past, their present reality standing there, and their entire future destiny to how they respond to these laws given by the God they heard but didn't see.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. How does this intense focus in Deuteronomy 4 on remembering Baal Peor, remembering Horeb, and remembering Egypt, how does that fuel the instructions for the future? Especially those warnings about forgetting. And when you consider that promise of return, even after failure, what does it really mean, do you think, to seek with all your heart and soul when you're facing the consequences of having turned away?